Oh, hi. Oh, hi.
Dirty little slut.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You actually gonna tape your thumbs?
He's taping his thumbs.
Wow.
Ah, God. This is a bad plan. It didn't go as according to plan.
This is a great plan. This is the opening bit.
Never look. Oh, God, you biting me.
It's our cold open right here. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. My nuts.
Hot potato.
Oh, balls.
Hot potato.
Ready to do this? Awesome.
What are we talking about?
Oh, God, this is going to
for
be a
you.
Byron bashing session.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, all right.
Cool.
Buckle up.
All right. Here we go. Yes. All right. Hey guys, welcome to the Tape Thumbs podcast. I'm Cody Liu, joined with my friend Zach Carlin, and we have another guest this week, our good friend Byron Allen. He's a member here at CrossFit 956, has been doing CrossFit for the last probably 6 or 7 months, so we thought it would be good to have him on the show and talk about his experience with getting into CrossFit and things like that. How's it going, Byron?
It's good, Cody. Yeah, you guys blew your budget in the first 2 episodes, hey?
yeah,
So
pretty
like,
much.
What schmuck can we get now?
Yeah, we had to do...
What no-list actor can we get in?
Yeah, pretty much.
They spelled your name wrong in the credits.
Yeah, which I...
One episode.
Which, as a shout out to them, I might just do that in our show. No.
You can. I've been called much worse, so that's okay.
Brian, our friend Brian. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
About myself, sure,
Yeah.
well, Sean started with his age last time, so maybe okay. I'm 26 years old, I guess. I was born and raised in Calgary, here. I don't know, been in sports my whole life. I started CrossFit back in September here at 956. I was pretty hesitant about joining any kind of CrossFit gym for the longest time.
CrossFit's stupid.
Yeah,
You want to
absolutely.
lose your gains?
It's really hard.
Well, you just see all the crappy internet videos of people killing themselves
I'm
too.
not fit enough to
And
do
now
CrossFit.
you're part of that.
And now it's just like, literally I don't see my dogs anymore. Yeah, I don't see my girlfriend or my dogs, so that's awful. But
Which is why she got a job here. So
this is
that,
why,
so that
we're
they
slowly
can
just
spend time
encroaching,
together.
so I never have to leave. It's gonna be great. Yeah. So I got into CrossFit and I'm really liking it. I'm a stunt performer and actor here in Calgary, amongst other things. So,
What other things?
I'm a part-time whore.
Is the money good? Because because things are tight right now.
It's really not.
in the loop.
You got to be tight, but it's not tight.
Well, okay, fair enough.
You gotta cut your prices.
You gotta-
2 for 1
The oil,
deals.
the oil riggers are desperate. I've never been so sore. No, we can cut something.
We should cut
No, it's fine. It's cool.
Just bartending part-time. I was doing a lot of work with Theatre Calgary a couple years ago. Stopped doing that. I'm trying to crack into the law enforcement scene, but that's not going so well.
Aren't you in the reserves?
I am, but I barely count.
Oh, okay.
So
like if you
We
got
should probably not even mention that.
if you got called upon, we'd be fucked.
Absolutely.
It's because we're fucked.
Yeah.
There's nobody else getting by.
There's nobody else. Yeah. No. There's lots of other people. I'm just not one of those people.
Okay, gotcha.
Interesting. Cool.
Awkward.
Well, that's awesome. So why don't you mentioned you do stunt work, which is really cool. Some of the stuff that he's done, that he's told us about, is pretty sweet. So why don't you talk about some of the shows you've been on, because they're actually pretty big time shows.
Time's up. Sorry,
sorry.
I gotta
All right,
go, guys. Sorry. That's all Actra let me do. So yeah, no. I started stunt work a couple years ago now. A guy by the name of Stephen McMichael, who is the swordmaster for the Hobbit trilogy, amongst other big name Hollywood films. He actually lives in Cochrane out here now. He's a former Marine, and he's a stunt coordinator. And I had the good fortune of taking one of his combat for camera classes, and I kind of like my work that way.
Yeah.
One of the people who could just like listen to direction and not be a schmuck,
Yeah.
I guess. I'm still a schmuck, but yeah, he got me into this. The movie's called Painkillers. I haven't actually seen the movie. I don't watch a lot of the stuff that I'm in, but it was kind of a little action movie. So that's where I got my first start with stunts. It was just getting my ass kicked and thrown on the ground by beautiful women and shot to death. Yeah. And then I started doing a little bit more on a series called Winona Earp, which is on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
Season 1, check it out. I promise. Stick it out.
It's pretty good. I've heard.
Stick it out.
And it gets better. It gets better. But yeah, so it's really cool. It's like a science fiction, Western fantasy thing. It's a blend of all. It's modern. It's a lot better than I make it sound too. But it's about Wyatt Earp's great-great-granddaughter and all the people that he killed when he was alive. They're coming back to life as demons, and it's up to her to save the world.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man. So I do stunts in that. Michael Eklund, one of the major villains in the show, I'm his stunt double. I got to be his stunt double. So hopefully Steve watches this and he's like, "You piece of shit."
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so there's some wire stunts and some junkyard fight scenes and nightclub fight scenes where you just hit the ground. It's a lot of falling down.
Yeah.
I have no formal stunt training, so basically when anything happens, they're just like, "Byron, can you just
Hit the ground.
hit the ground?" Which often results in me separating a shoulder or two.
What to say? Isn't that why you keep hurting yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm made of dust, so
Makes sense.
yeah, yeah. So I get to do that. Yeah.
Super fun times. Yeah, that's cool. Well, enough about that boring stuff. Why don't we talk about CrossFit?
Yeah.
You said this wasn't going to be painful.
So then, yeah, like we said, you started back in about September, and you were super hesitant about it.
Yeah.
So then, why don't you talk about what made you hesitant, or what kind of pushed you over the edge to actually do it?
What drove me over the edge to actually do it? Yeah. Okay. Well, aside from the incessant harassment from our friend John, join my CrossFit club.
Johnny.
John. Hey, buddy. No, I was hesitant because you watch CrossFit gets a really bad rap for I think 90% of its online media coverage.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it's getting better. It is getting better, just with their the actual company's promotion of it. It's
Yep.
getting a lot better, but there's all those videos of people killing themselves.
Totally.
out there, and not actually, but
Yeah.
yes, and it just seems if you don't find a good place with good coaches and people who know what they're doing, you're liable to not. You're going to learn incorrect things and you're going to hurt yourself. And I don't know. I'm a big proponent on if your coaches are shitty, you're going to be shittier. So
Yeah.
What's the thing too? Like anything online, one bad thing outshines 100.
All the
totally,
things,
and that extends
So-
even into martial arts, right?
Just,
Like,
yeah, exactly. It's
people are
just
like,
the
"Oh,
way
what do you do?" I do this, and it's like, "Oh." It's like, no, please don't look on the internet.
I saw this meme and it was terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, and it's bad because a lot of that is most of the time it's true. There are some pretty shitty places out there.
Yeah.
So I was hesitant about that, and to be fair, cost was a thing for me. I mean,
Yeah.
CrossFit's expensive.
It's not
CrossFit's
cheap.
expensive. Yeah, exactly. I still have my $5 membership somewhere else. I won't name them, but it's awesome.
$5. Sounds like Fit for Less. Boo.
They're open 24 hours a day. Because if I'm not CrossFitting enough, I gotta go there
Yeah,
more.
fair enough.
No, but that's just too good not to have. But I joined because I came and did a drop-in class at 956 here, and I really liked the vibe. It wasn't like the barbell douche club.
Yep.
It wasn't the bros, and it felt,
Yep.
it was a really cool, relaxed environment, and I really liked it. And then I was like, oh, this is hard.
Yeah.
This is part-
Yeah. It's nice. It's
I
a good
remember
challenge.
watching you in like your first few workouts,
Oh my
and you were just like the typical like
Just a piece of
like,
shit.
Like, like piece of shit, but like naive to like. Eventually, you're gonna get tired. So like the first few minutes of the
ham.
workout, you're just ham.
Yeah.
Red line.
Yeah, and you just implode. I mean, to be fair, I still kind of do that, but it was extremely hard. And I thought I kind of value myself as an in shape individual.
You are.
Before I came in,
You
I
are.
was doing a lot of running and
You
a lot
should
of.
see the dude's abs. You are.
Join in next time.
It's a casting couch.
Is this the audition room for casting couch?
Oh, man.
Why is there so many dudes? I thought I was an in shape individual, and I thought I was like, this shit'll be easy. It was not easy, and it never gets easier.
Well, if you watch other people who are good at anything, this is anything, they make it look easier. You're like, I could do that. They're just running in a circle and then throwing that thing over their head.
Yeah.
And then you do it.
What sport are you describing?
I think CrossFit.
That's CrossFit? Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, in a nutshell.
yeah.
Yeah. I have people run in an oblong more often, but. No, I'm glad we're on this subject because I had a conversation with some people recently about starting CrossFit and stuff like that. And one was a conversation about redlining off the beginning, and I was saying how over time I've begun to prefer like the longer grinding workouts because I don't have to move very fast. Right, so like
What's that rule? You go 70% for 70%.
Yeah, right. Like what we did yesterday with the muscle ups and the thrusters.
Yeah.
I was like, we were just going in singles, right? You just kind of move through it and do whatever.
Until you're done, yeah.
Rather than like a 7-minute AMRAP where you're just balls to the wall the whole time, and those destroy me.
Yeah, I haven't decided what I like.
Yeah. Over time, I start to like the longer ones better because you can just move slower.
Yeah.
But then, I was talking to some people recently about how, I forget how we got onto it, whether I said, oh, maybe you should check out CrossFit, or they said they were thinking about checking out CrossFit, blah, blah. And then I hear this a lot, specifically regarding CrossFit, where people will say, oh, like, I've thought about trying CrossFit, but I don't think I'm fit enough. Which is, and CrossFit's the only place I've heard that, because it's like, with anything else, if you can't do it, that doesn't stop anybody from doing it.
So you'll practice it.
Yeah, like it's not like, hey, do you want to go play a game and pick up basketball? And you're like,
I'm not fit enough.
Yeah, I'm not in the NBA, so I don't think I should play basketball ever.
To a degree, I don't know if you want to speak to that first.
No, I'm waiting.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys talk.
I totally get that. I absolutely understand that. Like you watch dudes like you guys, or any of the coaches, or even people who have been doing CrossFit for a bit, like they're doing muscle ups, they're walking on their hands and shit. They're like even like a pistol.
Yeah.
Like that, I can see how that's daunting to people, right? Like when I came in, like I did those first couple weeks of CrossFit, and I was like, cool, yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna. I don't want to learn how to do a muscle up. Like that's too. Like I don't want to.
Right.
I can't do that. I can't walk. I'll never walk on my hands. But then like the more you come to CrossFit, you're like, oh fuck, I kind of want to.
Yeah.
I never thought I would, but I kind of want to learn to walk on my hands.
You get addicted to it.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you always want to learn. You always want to get better at stuff, right?
Yeah, but I can see that the dog.
Yeah, I always found that strange, just because like, yes, some of the things that we do are like kind of crazy and take some skill and some strength and stuff like that. But learning a skill to do anything else, to me, doesn't seem any different than that, and you just don't start.
But people don't think about fitness like
Yeah,
that. Right?
yeah,
It's just like people, like especially nowadays, it seems like people are like, well, I want to go to World Health, or I want to go to, I want to go to Fit for Less, and I want to,
I can lift
I want to
some
work
5
out
pounds.
like for maybe 45 minutes on the elliptical,
Yeah.
and then have a
Yeah.
super sweet beach body or something like that.
It's true.
I want to learn gymnastics and weightlifting and powerlifting and all this. It's a lot. So as a coach, how would you work? Like, how do you guys articulate? How do you get people over that? How would you?
I don't know. I think it's setting realistic expectations for what actually goes on. Because like you guys said, like a lot of what people know about CrossFit they get from the internet or whatever forms of media they can. So they only see kind of like a small window of what actually goes on.
Yeah.
In CrossFit, where when you start out, like I did a fundamentals class today, and literally all I taught them how to do was how to squat and how to press something. Like that's all it was for an hour and a bit. So it's like it starts like super basic, just like anything else. But because all you ever see on the internet and stuff like that are people throwing 300 pounds over their head or doing all kinds of stuff, like
people only ever post
yeah,
their
of course,
PRs and
yeah,
stuff, right?
yeah. So I guess I can see how that would skew people's view of what actually goes on, but it's no different than anything else. Like you start at the beginning and you work your way up to the crazy stuff, as you should with anything.
And you don't even have to work your way up to the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You can just get really good.
That's true. Yeah, if you can just get really good at the basics and be super fit,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's like for like GPP, like general fitness. I mean, that's all you need. You don't need. Realistically, you don't need to be able to do a muscle up, but to be physically capable of doing a muscle up, that's kind of the goal.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not actually doing a muscle up. It's the fact that you can.
Good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, I'm smart.
Yeah.
So what I see, like, first of all, there's the people who say they need to get fit before they do CrossFit. I agree with them, but I don't agree with them because of what they're thinking of is that they need to get skinnier and like a little bit stronger and like go on the elliptical and like they need to start working out for a few months. But what they actually need to be doing before they start CrossFit, and especially people who just come off the couch or just had kids or just came off of injuries or anything like that, that they need to do is get their body physically prepared to be able to do CrossFit and progress in a straight line rather than progress like crooked. And I will
in a not straight line.
And I will, in a not straight line. And I'll elaborate on that. So let's take somebody who just had a car. I don't want to say a car accident. Yeah, fuck it, car accident. They got a car accident, and then they fucked their back up. Whatever, it's healed, but they have like some abnormalities, or like one side is like crooked, like their hips are crooked or something like that, right? So like one leg might be longer than the other one, or one ankle might have better mobility than the other one, but they're not even on either side. And everybody has like unevenness, but somebody, especially if they're coming off the couch, so being they just haven't worked out in the last 5 to 10 years, which you have people like that, they need to get their body prepared to start squatting. And a lot of people, if they have like an injury, they're not ready to squat yet. Because what will happen is they'll get stronger, but they'll say their right side takes over a little bit too much at the beginning. Like it won't be very noticeable at the beginning, but as they get stronger, that one stronger side will always keep getting a little bit stronger than the weak side. So then by the time they get to a certain point, they're just gonna like really hurt themselves. Right. They'll plateau really quick, and they will never be able to like push themselves or get further. So you always need to I always bring somebody in, and then I always watch how they move, and we have to correct how they move and like teach them how to move properly, but also get them strong enough to move properly. So just telling people how to move isn't the same as getting their bodies ready to move properly, if that makes sense. Yeah. And that's one thing that I found wrong with CrossFit, and it's starting to get better, is just like everything is just like audible cues and like forcing people into the right position rather than like, why aren't you moving properly? Yeah. Oh, that's why, so let's fix that. Not just like that fucking squat. When you did your level 1, did they do that squat fixing thing? Or what's that called? Squat therapy?
Squat therapy?
Where they just like shove you up against a wall and just like you just go down slowly, then like when your chest drops, it's just like, all right, so I'm just gonna like crank your back up straight. Okay, now go down a little bit farther. All right, we're just like, but it just doesn't work. It's just not. It's just like
that sounds
like
awful.
long term, it just doesn't work. Like it'll be good for like the first few months, but then
you were talking about that with me on the way up to Cross Iron the other day. You were like, yeah, no, instead of like focusing on mobility or something like that, you're like, oh, let's just force them into the right spot. Mobility doesn't exist or something like that.
Mobility exists, but it's not always mobility. It's not like, because when people say mobility, a lot of the time they're talking about flexibility, and that's not mobility. Yeah. Right? Mobility is also like, are the right muscles firing at the right time? Right? So like you get somebody who, for instance, like their glutes don't work. Yep. Right? Like this guy.
Yeah, I actually have a delayed glute activation.
Yeah, so like people like that, when they get a whole bunch of weight on their back, sometimes what will happen is they won't be able to go down all the way in their squat, or it'll look like they can't go down all the way in their squat, or when they come up, their ass will shoot in the air, basically take their legs and butt out of the equation and use their back. Yeah. Right? Or or you get the other way where they're really quad dominant, and then they get like tons of knee pain and stuff like that. So that also pertains to mobility. Or people who collapse their knees in a lot, that's like also their glutes aren't working, or like they have like something not working in their adductors. Yeah. So there's lots, like mobility isn't always just flexibility. It's also like what muscles are firing properly and when. And also like a lot of people, their cores aren't strong at all fuck, we get people to do hollow rocks in the place. They like can't, like 45 seconds, you should be able to do a hollow rock like while having a conversation with somebody, right? These people are dying.
Yeah.
So like if your core isn't strong enough to do a squat or support the weight on your back during a back squat or a deadlift, like there's no point in learning how to, or trying to squat heavier. You gotta get your core stronger, or else you're just gonna fucking blow your back. You'll just see like vertebrae just shooting out your fucking
Bad
back.
Japanese anime.
Yeah, basically. So that's my opinion. Before you start CrossFit, especially again if you have injuries or you just had a kid or you haven't worked out in a long time, the best thing to do is come ask me or a coach, like how can I get like we can do assessments, like we can watch how you squat, we can see kind of like if like a lot of people like twist in their squat, we can be like, oh cool, so like your one ankle sucks, we can work on that, and we can like get your core stronger, like focus on the basics, get your body ready to like get it ready for the punishment, right?
Yeah.
Rather than just punishing it all the time.
Yeah. I like it. That's good.
Warm up?
So was that a segue into our next segment?
Oh, shit.
It's so hard to convince people to do that.
Yeah.
Dennis. Like teaching people that they don't just like how to get stronger isn't just always adding weight on their bar.
Yeah.
It's like you don't move properly. Your body's incapable of moving properly with that much weight being supported. Like you need to get you need to do accessory work. You need to get your posterior stronger. You need to get your core stronger, or else there's no fucking point in adding weight to your squat.
Yep.
Because your knees will just blow up,
For
or your
sure.
back will just blow up. So.
And that extends to, I assume that extends to the Olympic lifts, even more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Even more so.
Yeah.
Even more so.
Like when I PR'd my snatch a couple of months ago, that didn't come from just snatching more.
No.
Like I had actually been doing a powerlifting cycle before that for the last few weeks. So I'd actually gotten, my back had gotten stronger, my legs had gotten stronger, my shoulders had gotten stronger from all the benching and deadlifting and squatting. And then when I actually went in to do the snatch, it's just my muscles' ability to just stabilize and hold that weight was just a lot easier than, and it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna do a snatch over and over and over again and the weight's just gonna go up as I go. Because if you're doing it wrong every time, or you don't, like Zach said, if you're not firing the right muscles, or you don't have that stability and mobility, then you're just doing the same thing over and over again without actually getting any better.
Yeah, and they're like, especially with the Olympic lifts, if you're not, like if you haven't been doing those lifts for, I'd say more than a year, like when you're doing those lifts, that's just your practice. Like you shouldn't think that as your strength portion. Like your single leg squats, your bent over rows, your single leg deadlifts, your Romanian deadlifts, like that's your strength.
Absolutely, all those accessory exercises and stuff like that should be like max effort kind of a thing, whereas when you're doing the actual lifts, should be sub-maximal, and you're just like getting the movement patterns and body positions down. Yeah. Instead of just like, hey, if I'm like, I'm gonna get my snatch is gonna go up because I'm gonna snatch 100% 5 days in a row. It's.
And there's a few. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but Julian Pignot. He was on Barbell Shrug.
Yeah.
He does Invictus's accessory stuff. Super smart guy. And he's French. I love hearing him talk. But like actual French, like from France.
And he's
from fucking
and he's
Quebec.
blunt.
Yeah, he's very blunt.
Yeah.
But he on the podcast on Barbell Shrug, he gave a lot of he has rules, like you should be able to do this before you do this.
Yeah.
So like one of them is your snatch. You should be able to put your snatch, like whatever weight you can snatch, over your head and walk 100 feet with it. Like you should be able to support that weight long enough.
Yeah.
And be
Before you
stable
try to
enough with
throw
it
it
before
over,
you throw it over your head and catch it in a dynamic
That's
position.
fucking sweet.
Yeah, man.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, dude.
And there's some to that,
try
but
this now.
there's another one. But before you deadlift, you should be able to you should be able to bend over row 60% of your deadlift for 8. So your upper back is strong enough to support that. Because especially in a deadlift or a clean.
You said 80%?
60. I think it was 60.
60. Okay.
For 8 reps.
Oh, that's 60% for 8 reps.
Because if your upper back isn't strong enough to support, what's the first thing that's going to do in a deadlift?
More, yeah.
Right? And then that's just a chain, and your lower back really isn't that strong. And again, if your core isn't strong enough to support that, you're fucked, right? Especially your core, right? Like there's lots of that kind of stuff that you talked about that I really liked, and I looked more into it, and that's kind of how I see kind of what I was talking about before when people get into CrossFit, right? Especially shoulders. Like he had this test where they just like, and I use it now in my assessments, is people just put dumbbells in their hands and get them to extend overhead, and I just make them walk like for 5 minutes, and you see how they break down, and like some of them are like,
Yeah.
and like their shoulders will go up in
And
their
then you
ears
start to
and
like
stuff.
lean.
Yeah, or they're like way too far forward, and you can just like watch, like it's like if their like shoulders come up into their ears or use their traps too much, it means that their lats aren't working properly, and they most likely, especially people who sit in a desk or like this, they can't use their lats. Like they need to be able to get into this position to be able to sit the shoulders on the lats. And this is cool.
It is.
Cool.
That's really. I want to go back and watch those.
I love that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been looking a lot into that stuff.
I
since
hope I can
seen
find
it.
like a rainbow effect after all that and just be like, the more you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of that stuff, and that's why, like in our programming at the gym here, I put in a lot of accessory stuff like that. A lot.
Yeah.
Bicep curls, man.
Bicep curls. Yeah.
But Zach, do you do bicep curls?
I do.
You sure?
In my warm-ups. I don't warm up.
I don't warm up.
I don't warm up.
A cheetah doesn't warm up.
Yeah.
Jaguar leopard doesn't warm up before it kills something.
So speaking of ramping up your volume,
Were we speaking of that?
well, we were starting to.
Okay. Yeah.
Because then you shot like Himaluk
Yeah.
when we were talking about that. It's not a bad thing because you actually started out, like you said, pretty fit to begin
Yeah.
with. So you can
And some
actually
people, like,
you can
are
actually handle
bulletproof.
the volume that you've been training at. But yeah, because like, and I was saying before how you kind of started to do what I did when I first got into CrossFit, because I joined CrossFit and then a couple months later, like I wasn't even into it that long, and then I started working on.
Oh,
with
yeah.
him, and then I started working on with him,
Yeah.
which is kind of the same thing you did.
Well, you did the lads.
I did the lads
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
yeah. And so, yeah. So, I mean, it's funny to see because you do see people like that where they get in and they get into it, which is great, and I love to see the enthusiasm in people like that and blah blah blah. But it's like to work out like 5-6 days a week, a couple times a day.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot on, especially on just like normal people that have like full-time jobs and all that kind of stuff to come in and be doing that much volume is a ton, and we're lucky because we have like a ton of time on our hands to.
Well, you need to
come to the
recover.
gym
Like
and-
people don't focus on their recovery.
Yeah.
Like people should never, like especially if you've been doing CrossFit for like 6 years, you should never come in and be like, oh, I'm so destroyed. It's like, well, it wasn't the workout. It was because you either you slept shitty, you probably didn't eat enough, and you didn't do anything to recover from it.
Yep. Yeah. I try to eat lots. It's hard.
I wasn't looking at you.
No, I was
Yeah. Yeah.
Eat
He's like,
shitty,
he's trying to
don't eat right.
Yeah.
I knew all of this.
Oh damn
I'm a
it.
piece of shit. Ah. This is why I feel like shit. No.
But having said that, yeah, I mean, talk about Byron. Why don't you talk about how what your experience has been like from when you started to like kind of ramping up your training volume? Because like yeah, I mean, we work out together all the time and all this kind of stuff, and you work out even outside of CrossFit as well.
Yeah, with my dad. Yeah.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And you know, and maybe some of the steps you take for recovery and stuff like that, because you're obviously not coming in, you know, super trash or anything. You might have like little
Aches
bumps,
and
aches and
yeah.
pains here that everybody has, but
Yeah. Or just fighting around like a separated shoulder or something like
yeah,
that, which is
yeah,
stupid.
anything like that.
Yeah. But okay, yeah, speak to. Well, wait, like elaborate on that for me. Like,
Well,
you
like
want me to
honestly,
speak
just like
what it's,
when
what
when
it's
you
been
first
like,
started,
or-
yeah,
Yeah.
But
okay.
like to go from like you said, you first started out, and then you started coming in more and more often, and then you know more and more often than that, and
Yeah.
it just kind of snowballed into this, and this thing where you know
we're
we're
at
training
now,
every
yeah.
day and all that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
what you know, like what the toll is taken on you, and maybe some of the things you do to recover, like you said,
And cope.
and stay,
Coping.
yeah,
It's not recover, it's
and
coping.
stay fresh.
Alcoholism. No, I'm just kidding. No,
You're not
no, we're not advocating that at all. No, yeah. So when I first started CrossFit, it was like maybe I think I started in the mornings.
Yeah,
right.
you-
I was
yeah,
like,
you're
I
right in
was
the morning.
yeah, because I was trying to win a sponsorship or something like that. So I was trying to get my fucking life on
Do it
Instagram or something
Right.
like
Do it for the
that.
gram.
Do it for the gram. So I was coming in
Right.
like I was up at 5 a.m. and I would come do like maybe like either the 6 a.m. or the 7 a.m. CrossFit class. And it was like once a day, that's it. And then maybe I'd work out with my dad later in the day or that kind of thing. And that was my intro. And it was rough to start. Like we spoke to getting your ass kicked in CrossFit, and I'm glad to hear that like everybody kind of goes through that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I started doing it for a couple more months, and then some life shakeups happened, and I had a little bit more time on my hands, and I was like, hey, like Zach, can I like drop in on your workouts or whatever? And he was just like, fine. Yeah. I remember that day so clearly. He was like, hey Zach, can I talk to you after class? And you just turned to me and you were like, fucking what? And I was like, immediately questioning everything. Like, do I actually want to ask him? Like, fuck this guy? No. No, I was like, yeah, can I drop in on your workouts? And you're like, yeah, sure, okay. Little did I know what I was asking. Holy shit. Yeah, that went from 0 to 60 real fast, real quick. But it's good. Yeah, so we started working out like, I think it was maybe we started working out, it was just one workout a day. But the workouts were vastly different from what we were doing at the gym.
Yeah.
Like the daily workouts or the workouts
I think you
a day.
started, I was just kind of, just right before the open.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a month and a half or something like that before the...
Yeah, we were doing 2.
Was it
2
2?
a day, yeah.
Yeah, and they were longer workouts. That I wasn't used to that. Like you'd come in on a Monday morning or something like that and be like, okay, you got like a 45-minute AMRAP. There's like four movements, just go.
Yeah.
Or you'd be like, oh yeah, okay, a 7-minute AMRAP, just go. We'll do some rowing and then we'll do some accessories. And then you drop in on Zach's and it's just like page after page. That was the first time I'd ever seen a workout with components, like A section, B section, C section, D
really?
section. And you're just like, this is a fucking joke.
Didn't you have one of the lads that went to like G one time?
Yeah.
Oh, that was rough. I remember that day.
Yeah, I think.
What we got down to F.
Yeah, we got down to F because we couldn't get past E for a while.
Yeah, A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
I think we might have got to G or H.
Yeah,
That's rough.
Because working out with Zach was like going like singing the alphabets, but you always get stuck on E.
Yeah.
I don't know, I made some kind of joke. It's not funny now, but so the workout load definitely skyrocketed, and honestly, like, yeah, I don't know, like I'm not really sore anymore. I'm just kind of.
You get stiff.
I get
like,
stiff. Like it'll be like, okay, I got like my neck's a little fucked up today.
You don't notice it until you like actually start to like
To move.
to do something, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's sticky.
And I
Right,
found
yeah.
that over the years that I've been doing this too, is that I very rarely do I ever have muscle soreness anymore, unless especially now that I started a new program, unless I start like a new movement or something that I haven't done.
Yeah.
That kind of just activates something.
Every once in a while you do kind of like something to excess.
Yeah, but for the most part, I don't generally get sore. You just get kind of achy, and you said like you're like, oh, you go to warm up and like lift the leg kettlebell over your head or something. You're like, oh, my shoulder, fuck.
Yeah,
Oh God.
And some people come in, they're like, I'm not sore, so that I want to be sore. I'm like, oh, that's a good thing. If you're not sore, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You don't want
Like
to
if you
be.
can handle like normal classes, get your work in and not feel completely trashed. Like don't feel like you're losing anything.
That means you're
from
getting better, but you can function outside of it.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's working. That's what that means.
But it's all like you guys spoke to that, like taking the time to actually make sure you are recovering.
Yeah.
Right,
Well, but you've been working out your whole life. So like, you don't want to like, don't do what he did unless you've also been working out your whole life. Because there's people who are like 10 years older than us, but their training age is like a quarter of ours.
Right.
It's like training age being how many years out of your life have you actually been training, like working out.
Yeah.
So there's, again, people that come off the couch, like you get like a 40-year-old who looks in shape, but has never actually worked out. Like has never done any resistance training. Yeah. So like that person's joints aren't, like their tendons aren't strong enough. Like literally their bone attachments aren't strong enough to do this stuff yet. Yeah. Like they need to start from scratch, and that's like what I mean. Like you need to get those people ready to work out.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because you don't want to injure them. Like first of all, it sucks. You always want people to get better. Like I hate seeing somebody who comes in, and especially like once they get into it, and then they get hurt, and you're just like, you see how disappointed they are, and then they start getting down themselves. Like, oh, I'll never be fit.
Yeah.
I'll never get in that bikini. But then that sucks, and then plus like we lose a member.
Yep.
Which sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
Sucks. But it's just it's hard to convince people to do that, especially when they come in and with CrossFit, especially online. Like the first thing you see is Brooke Wells doing a workout, and you're just like, I want to do that, or I want to be like that, and then It's like, no, you have to start
Yeah.
way over here at
Yeah,
A.
totally.
And then you can work your way up.
Absolutely.
Like, after years of work. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our situations when we started out, like obviously you have a higher training. You were like had a decent training age when you started CrossFit. Me, not so much, but I'd been to like gyms that and active and stuff like that.
Yeah, you had a big excessive baseball background. Right?
Yeah, and so that's that helps. And obviously, ramping up the volume that much is definitely not for everybody. Even I don't. While I work out with these guys every so often, I don't do the volume that they do just because it hurts. And you know, like especially if you're coming into the gym for, you know, like you said, GPP, general physical preparedness, and all that kind of stuff. Like coming in, you know, a few times a week, 4 or 5. You know, maybe go from 3 days to 4 days, or 4 days to 5 days, or something like that will probably help. But like, yeah, to jump into, you know, doing 2 days, 6 days a week is definitely not for everybody. And you know, and if your goal isn't to, you know, try
Is it for anyone? Really?
I guess
I don't know.
depends.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I mean, you have to be a certain type of crazy to just want to do that anyway. But yeah, and you know, unless your goal is to, you know, do what Zach does and like go to regionals, or you know, or you're doing competitions and you are legitimately committed to doing stuff like that, nobody really actually even needs to work out that much, and that gets lost in the fray as well, because they're like, oh, I just gotta work out again, and I'm gonna come in the morning, and then I'm gonna do spin in the afternoon, and
It's
then
always more and more and more.
yeah.
And more. It's not about more and more and more. It's about better.
Yeah.
Better.
So,
right?
yeah, excess, like quality over quantity,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and do other things. Like I like baseball season is about to start for me, and I'm like, I can't wait. I'm probably gonna end up working out less because I'm gonna miss days to play baseball, and I couldn't
There's nothing wrong
be
with
happy
that.
about that. Yeah, like use your fitness in other things. It's not all about coming
I
to
use
the
my
gym.
fitness to work out.
Yeah, he
but I
uses
work
you
out
use your fitness
to get fitness.
To get
yeah. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, it's brutal.
We're training to work out good.
That's one thing that's cool about CrossFit now, is that you get a lot more like the weekend warriors.
Yeah.
Yes, because like we have all these competitions on the weekend, and like the Open even, and then you have all these other competitions that have their version of the qualifiers or Open.
Yeah, yeah,
So like people eventually get into that, like training for something.
for sure.
Kind of thing.
And
So
it's nice. It's nice to have something to shoot for.
Yeah, yeah. Like this competition that's coming up, that we have couple teams going to, that Fight of the Fittest.
Fight of the fittest. Yeah.
And
Cool.
that's pretty cool.
What? We agreed.
Cody ditched me.
We agreed that we weren't gonna go. You shut your face.
He's like, yeah, let's go. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go for registration. Cody pulls the pin.
Whatever. No, that's bullshit. That was a mutual decision.
Good thing they gave me a refund.
You didn't.
That's funny.
No, I absolutely did not. I was trying to be a dick. No. Yeah.
It also helps with your training though, to have something to shoot for, like having a date
Yep.
to
Oh yeah.
shoot for.
Yeah.
It always helps.
It'll keep you from missing days and stuff, because then I think like, oh, I
Or
have
just going on a date, you know.
like gym dates. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question for you guys: do you find that like cause how long have you guys been doing CrossFit now?
4 years.
4, and then
Just
Zach
about
fucking since he was 2.
No, you
I don't know. 4.5.
Yeah.
He came out cleaning.
You didn't start like crazy long
No,
before
4.5
me.
years. So.
Really? Okay. Do you, okay, so over those 4.5 years, like what I see online a lot of time, do you think the quality of CrossFit and competitors?
Oh,
and,
dude.
Do you think it's changed?
It's nowhere
It's-
near.
yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. how
It's
much
improved a hell of a lot.
Well, and like in the early years of CrossFit was by itself. It was very closed-minded. Other sports like weightlifting and powerlifting and bodybuilding were very closed-minded. And then all of a sudden, a lot of these athletes have been, they prospered from CrossFit into like weightlifting, into powerlifting, and it brought a lot of the communities together. It's like you get a lot more of these guys like Julian Pignot and instead of complaining, they want to be a part of the fixing of the problem.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And like weightlifting in the States has boomed
It's huge
since
now.
CrossFit has
Yeah,
come along.
huge.
Like a lot of people have gone from weightlifting and transitioned into CrossFit. Matt Frazier.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
And the other way around. Yeah, Matt Freeze, he was all right.
He's all right. He was a national weightlifter, trained at the Olympic.
I thought he was just short.
He's just only because he's short.
Yeah.
Fuck. That would annoy the shit out of me.
Small levers.
Like, the only reason he's good at this workout is because he's short. Like, I mean, he never actually, like, he basically said that, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
His workout favors him because he's short. No,
Well,
it's
maybe it's because
he
I did
weightlifted.
10 years of Olympic
He's
weightlifting.
he's actually
Why
pretty
don't you talk
good,
about that, motherfucker?
Yeah, no, it's because he weightlifted for so long. But yeah, you get a lot of guys who, like, high level weightlifters who move into CrossFit, now that Grid League thing, which I don't know how much longer that'll be around. But,
Yeah.
and then, there's a lot of CrossFitters who then are like, I like weightlifting.
It's true.
So they just are really good weightlifters.
Yeah, everyone's favorite. Maddie Rogers started
She
in
started CrossFit. She was a cheerleader.
Gymnast or, yeah, cheerleader. that's what it
Cheerleader, and
was.
then she went into CrossFit, and then now she's the golden girl
Yeah,
of
and now
U.S.
she's one of the
women's
best
weightlifting.
weightlifters, female weightlifters they've ever had.
Yeah, she's really good. But yeah, and then just a lot like Kelly Starrett, with the mobility and stuff.
Yeah, mobility bod.
He wants to be part of fixing the problem. And then like weightlifting and powerlifting, their eyes have been opened a lot more, and they're more accepting of CrossFit techniques, and obviously CrossFit's a lot more open-minded about weightlifting and powerlifting and
Yeah, I think.
bodybuilding
Yeah,
even.
the crossovers between the disciplines have been, I think,
Yeah.
really, really good. Because yeah, like you said, it was pretty segregated before, where it was like you walk in and it's like these are the weightlifters, these are the powerlifters, these are the strongmen and women, and then these are the CrossFitters, and it's kind of like just nobody talked to each other.
and then everybody thought CrossFit was stupid.
Yeah,
And it was in the early days. It was really stupid. I remember thinking I'll never do that.
Yeah.
I remember in 2012 I was like, fuck, that looks stupid.
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, and there's a few sports that are like that. Like mixed martial arts is like that. Like boxers looked at it and they're like,
Oh yeah, fair enough.
you
Yeah.
guys don't even know how to throw a punch, and they didn't in the early years. And then now Conor McGregor is going to fight Mayweather.
Right.
Probably has a good chance of beating him in a boxing match. So I mean, yeah, it's crazy.
That's
Yep.
nuts.
Cool.
Yeah. And then even just the quality of movements, if you watch over the years, has improved
Yeah.
a ton. Because if you watch, there's that documentary on Netflix, Every Second Counts, which is about the 2008 games.
Oh,
And if you watch like the snatches and stuff in there, it's brutal. Like
I can't watch
brutal.
it.
It's yeah.
I should watch that.
Yeah, it's
even like I can't remember his name, but he was like considered like one of the better weightlifters at that time. And if you watch it now, you're like,
oh man, yeah.
and now you go to regionals
And everyone's like perfect.
and you
like,
go,
it's-
perfect, but
Well,
like the top 20, or actually probably all of them, guys and girls, could go compete at a local weightlifting meet and do really well, if not top.
I have a bad feeling I'm going to watch this 2008 documentary and just be like, that's exactly what I look like. What's wrong with this?
No,
It's definitely not. It's definitely not.
not quite.
Just
Although
hot
you would have done well.
Yeah.
Hey. Let's go on.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so it's just evolution of.
Yep.
Yeah, and things
Anything,
mature,
really.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can say
And it's
about
cool because I
baseball, too.
remember, I don't remember, but I've seen where people are like, yeah, it's a fad. Like in 2007, people are saying that. And you see that headline in the overhead press, journalist stands by, or after 10 years, journalist still thinks that CrossFit's a fad.
Yeah. It's come a long way,
Yeah.
which has been good. Yeah, because I think if it wasn't where it is now, I probably wouldn't have a job doing this.
Yeah.
And I'd still be doing God knows what.
I don't know what you'd be doing.
Yeah.
You'd be, like your evolution of jobs, you'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Be a lawyer. You'd be a lawyer.
Who knows?
We'd all be so much more successful.
If we can spend so. I'm sleeping on this couch.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. All right.
But it
Well,
is addicting.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's all the time we got
Cool.
this week. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Tape Thumbs Podcast. We're on Facebook, Tape Thumbs Podcast, and our YouTube channel is also called Tape Thumbs Podcast, which is where we post all of our videos for the podcast. We also have an audio version on SoundCloud, also under Tape Thumbs Podcast. Tried to keep that very simple so that there's no confusion. Anything you guys want to plug?
Mobile Labs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to my Instagram account. That'll be underneath.
Yeah,
right here,
it'll be down there
right
somewhere.
here.
Somewhere.
Right in the general ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, click on the link in my bio. Use promo code ZAC10. Get 10% off anything in store.
Yeah.
Best supplements around. And
Yeah.
a sneaky shirt. Cool.
I don't have any sponsors, so I don't know. You can just support the podcast. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. All right. Until next time.
Thanks for having me, guys.
See ya.
See you next Tuesday.
You had to say it because Lee's not here.